Good morning and welcome to today's reflection. It's Friday the 2nd of July and it's exactly the midpoint of the year. There are 182 days before the 2nd of July and 182 days after. Now on the 2nd of July 1897, the British-Italian engineer called Giulio Marconi, who invented radio, obtained a patent for radio in London. Earlier that year, he had successfully transmitted a Morse code message across the Bristol Channel, a distance of about 3.7 miles. And the message was simply, "Are you ready?" And this reminds me of a story about three men who went for a job interview as a Coast Guard officer. And of course, Coast Guard officers are often the first people who hear from ships in distress. And the three men were asked to wait in a room before being called in for interview. And there was some background music playing in the room and they were chatting away with each other. But after about 10 minutes, one of the men got up and walked through into the room next door. Seemed a bit strange. 20 minutes later, the chief Coast Guard officer came through and said to the effect, "Thank you for attending, gentlemen. We've now made the appointment and you can go home." Somewhat baffled by this, one of them said, "But what about our interviews?" To which the officer replied, "The most important quality we look for when appointing someone is that they will be able to listen out for a distress call, someone who can decipher the vital information from the background noise. And that's why I sent a Morse code message in to this room over the radio, mingled with the background music. And the message was, if you hear this message, please come into the next room for your interview." The man we have appointed was the first person who heard it. And that story reminds me of Elijah. When he was having a tough time with the Israelites, bear in mind he'd killed all the prophets, he said to God, "I am the only one left, and now they're trying to kill me." God told him to go and stand on the mountain, for the Lord is about to pass by. And as Elijah stood in a cave on the mountain, a great and powerful wind passed by, then there was an earthquake, and then a fire. But the Lord was not in any of these. But after the fire there was a gentle whisper, and when Elijah heard it, he pulled his cloak over his face and went out and stood at the mouth of the cave. And then a voice said to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" You can read about what happened next in the first book of Kings, chapter 19. But the point to make is that so often our lives are filled with so much background noise that we are in danger of not giving our attention to the really important bits, like those men waiting to be interviewed. A prayer adapted from a prayer by Benedict of Nursia. Gracious Father, give us the diligence to seek you and the wisdom to find you today. May our ears hear your voice, may our eyes see your goodness, and our tongues proclaim your name as we commit our lives to pleasing you. Amen.